I'm sure you've been into existence for so many years now, and that would require help, collaboration, and the support of so many people who have always been there. Arlene, could you elaborate on the type of issues you address and the cases that come to you?
I would like to simplify by stating one of our case. So there was this woman who was a victim of domestic violence, and she chose to run away from her hometown, came to Mumbai, got in touch with a police station. Somehow they got in touch with us. We took care of her entire delivery, her entire pregnancy term, and once she gave birth to the baby, we counseled her to keep the baby, but she was headstrong that she didn't want to keep the baby with her. And so we directed her to a licensed adoption center. So this is one of the cases that we addressed. We've addressed cases where we've had girls who were raped. And recently we've been having a lot of cases where there have been teen pregnancies. We've had cases of women who wanted to go ahead with the pregnancy but were abandoned and didn't have the support of their families. Also, we've had cases of a girl who was betrayed by her lover, and we've looked and supported her as well. So these are the types of cases that our organization has handled and addressed.
Kudos to you and the foundation, Arlene. The steps being followed encourage so much of trust. But could you tell me a little bit about how you raise awareness about the foundation and the code of ethics being followed thereof? Could you tell us a little bit about this?
Every workshop conducted is tailor-made as per the requirements of our audience. I remember our very first workshop that we conducted was to a handful of house help, and in that we covered up topics like sexuality and hygiene and understanding your body. Initially we would have cases from women from low income communities, but later on we started getting more and more cases from teens, and that's when we decided that we needed to create a module which would target the teens and the youngsters, and hence we came up with another module called Infatuation versus Real Love, where we spoke about the difference between infatuation and love, the consequences that it has. And in this way we reached out to almost 4,000 plus students in schools and colleges like Sophia's and Andrews. We also had we conducted workshops to 1,900 plus women from the low income communities. We've had our tie-ups with the NGOs in our city. We've had tie-ups with hospitals, the local police stations, and this is how we've been trying to spread awareness. Now, this is not the only way that we spread awareness. We also have we are active on social media, for example Facebook and Instagram. So this is how we create awareness and also get our cases from such medium. We follow the 5-step protocol. First, we screen every case that comes to us to check the genuineness. For example, if the beneficiary is a rape case victim or if she's underage, then we ensure that her legal formalities are verified and in place. Next, we take down her case history and we ensure that the data or the information that she has shared with us is secured and confidential. We also take the required documents from her for our records. We then provide counseling sessions for her mental and emotional well-being. Medical aid is then provided to her. So the routine checkups, the sonographies and the various tests that have been asked by the doctors have then been administered to her. Now this continues till she gives birth to the baby. And finally, there are times when we have provided counseling sessions post delivery, because maybe she's underwent trauma, or we feel that there is a need, then we sort of assist her with counseling sessions. We then give her a choice. She then decides, the beneficiary then decides, either she could keep the baby, and if she chooses not to keep the baby, we then direct her to a licensed adoption center. So this is the protocol that we follow with every of our case that comes to us.